Right, welcome to another episode of S-StarTV podcast with myself, Josie. I apologise for my state of my voice today because last night was Millwall Leeds, which if you are a football fan, you know is the biggest game in Millwall's calendar. Obviously we won as well, so it's all good. I'm in a good mood. Vibrations are high, and I've got a guest in front of me right now besides me, who we've been planning this one for a while, and it's, you know, everything happens at the right time is what I believe. And even though I ain't got my watch on, but he's an hour and a half late, but it's all good. In the building, we've got Mr. NSE. What's going on?
Respect my bro, man. It's good to be here, man.
You saying my lights are too bright for you? You got the glasses on?
Yeah, do you know what? The sun's always shining in it. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I had to come and just obviously put the shades on. Do you know what I'm saying? It's nice and bright in here, but it's good though, man.
To be fair, Kismet had these glasses on as well, the last episode as well. Maybe I've got to change the lighting in there.
I just thought, you know what, right? Tuesday, we're doing this thing. We've got to chop it out properly. And I want to give people the right persona and character. Right now, we're in character, in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you know what I mean? Just
why we're here, you've got a prop with you.
Yeah,
that's not in the shot, so I need you to pick it up because it's knee up here.
Yeah, this is the LV bear, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? So what this bear represents is like my fallen friends that ain't with me no more. So I've got like my best friend Terry and one of my good friends Jason that ain't here no more. And so, right, what it was, the bear was gifted to me. A long story short, it was gifted to me. And then for a minute, I was carrying the bear around and I was like, well, right now, it don't look right. I'm a big grown man carrying this bear around. People are going to think like, what's going on? So then I found a way that I could kind of make it all right, yeah? So I was like, right, the bear kind of represents faith. Okay. Do you know what I'm saying? And so that's why I bring the bear with me. Comes to some bookings, not all bookings, do you know what I'm saying? But some, and obviously I haven't brought him to all the podcasts that I've done, but I thought, I've got to bring him to see Julesy in it, do you know what I mean?
No, I like what it represents, man. That's powerful. Man.
Yeah, true story is that these bears, you might see them doing the rounds. You might see them doing the rounds, right? But I was the only one that has been gifted this bear in it. Everyone else, if you see them with the bear, they've purchased it. Yeah, sorry, but I'm the only one that's been gifted the bear in it. So let's just clear that one up straight away.
Is he named?
TJ.
Big up TJ in the building.
So
wicked, man. All right, we're gonna start off. For me, you've got two sides to your game in the music game. I'm gonna start off with as a host. That's what we're gonna touch upon first. For me, for some people, a host is actually kind of not a touchy subject, but not everyone is into a host. So we're going to get into that straight away. Like, it's just some people, do you experience some people like, not feeling you individually, but as a whole host?
Yeah, it's mad that you should actually it's mad because it has been that for a long time. But funny enough, it's not that no more. It's like now, it is the age of the host now, because I feel like people are kind of getting like, no disrespect to anyone as well, but it's like people are very, very tired of MCs, right? So when you're in a dance, right, it's like you want that hype guy in it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, and I feel like so it's like we're swinging from genre to genre, and it's like, okay, but the times are moving really quick now. Right, and as we're getting more and more, it's like I feel like the hosts are kind of like it's becoming more. It's what people want more. I believe so.
Okay.
Very, very, very. Yeah, I like that. It's a good question.
Yeah. It's because I know from personal experience, from feedback from ravers or just people I know, and they're like, and it's mixed reviews. It is mixed reviews. Some love hosts, some don't like hosts. So I just wondered, as a host, what you get as your reception. Probably most people to your face will be like, oh yeah. Or
a lot of the time.
If you do get any feedback, you know.
To be honest, right, I've never had, no one's ever sort of come to me directly and said to me like, we're not really feeling what you do, or kind of, I've never ever got that vibe off of anyone. But I've picked it up and heard it like about other people, and I'm not going to make this about anyone else because this is our thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But then I've heard, right, well, if they can speak about that person like that, but so then it's just like what my thing is, it's just different, and everyone is different, right? Okay, so yeah, I'm a host, but it don't make me the same as the other host. Do you know what I'm saying? Because everyone is different, everyone's thing's separate. Do you know what I'm saying? And I do my best to keep my thing separate, so people can say like I'm different, because that's what obviously separates you from everyone else. I don't want to go around in circles, but it's like so if we was all the same, we wouldn't all be getting booked. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And to be honest, as we have the conversation, it flows. In my mind, I'm thinking you probably wouldn't be booked for an event where people wouldn't like hosts anyway. So the promoters should know what they're doing. Really.
Well, yeah.
You wouldn't get a rave at an event, because let's just pick out a random event for me or genre. You wouldn't get a techno event
100%.
and then have a host on it, and then people are like, oh, why is there a host? Although, do you know what? One time, I was in Croatia. It was at Hideout. I think it was 2014 or 15, and Loco Dice brought out gigs. They had a tune, random tune. You know Loco Dice? He's like
of course,
American and Spanish. Yeah, he had an Italian. He had a tune with gigs, and it was just weird. It didn't work. On the night, I mean, the tune's alright, but when he come out randomly, like no one was expecting it. Everyone, everyone's off their nuts. Everyone's dancing, whatever. It's like 5, 6 in the morning, and then gigs popped out and started doing the PA. Couple people liked it, but I think most people were confused. So what I'm getting at is you're fit for the right parties, I guess. That crowd is there for the
That's exactly what it is, my bro. Like, obviously, you're not gonna get in everywhere. You're not gonna fit in everywhere.
Yeah.
This is why I always say all the time. Like, I'm very heavy on it as well. Like, stay in your lane. Do you know what I'm saying?
Of course.
Like, just know what you're doing, right? Know what your journey is. Do you know what I'm saying? Know where you're going, know where you're coming from, and just don't try to sort of I want to be there because everyone's there, innit? Because not everything is for everyone.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? And you're not always gonna get accepted by everyone as well, bro. The minute you can accept that and own that, and a prime example is that obviously, like, say, right, okay, so in the beginning of when, let's say, for example, when Shannon Sneaky started doing House Passion, right? In the beginning, it was Pink Passion. So the main room was Pink Passion, and then he had the cave in the back, Ifbar, which was House Passion. And then what happened is it developed so much that obviously eventually that the house room outgrew the urban room, right? So at this time, like hosts were kind of like very in. It was like there was a host in it, like there was quite a few hosts. Then what happened is Shannon kind of like, I think he was the last promoter to have a host, like in these events and that. And then obviously eventually, along the line, like it kind of Shannon stopped using the hosts as well, because obviously it was just like it wasn't anything against us personally. I just feel like it was the direction that the music went in.
The genre just it changed, didn't it? It evolved into a different sound. And
that's exactly what happened. So obviously, like, the host is not for everything, bro, innit? Like, so that being said.
And then what about how many, like, do you feel like there's a lot of space, or how much space is there for hosts? Like, meaning numbers wise. Feel like there's enough hosts? What's it like as a host when new hosts are born and come into it? Is it like there's too many? How do you feel about that?
I feel like there's not enough quality.
Okay.
And back in the day, right, okay, let's go back to House and Garage. There was a lot of quality control going on in the beginning. Right, so you couldn't just get in to that. You couldn't just pick up the mic and start emceeing or hosting or whatever, and then you'd get booked in an event, or you'd go to an event and jump on. It didn't work like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's like,
what era are we talking?
We're going back like probably for when I was raving,
yeah.
Right, so I'm talking about that era. So then what happened was, obviously, as Garage moved on, more and more MCs emerged. Right, and then the music became more MC orientated.
With the crews and all that.
Right, and then obviously, and then you went from the Garage having a lot of MCs, right? MCs going back to back, etc., and then obviously evolved from that to grime. So for me, the answer to that is, I feel like currently, I'm not being biased by saying it, that there's enough hosts. everyone's welcome, man. If you're gonna put the work in and work on your craft and the quality, then everyone's welcome in it. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the music's not just for me. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like it's for everyone in it. It's for everyone to enjoy. But at the same time, we want to remain a certain amount of professionalism and quality. Do you know what I mean?
Nice. All right, here's a question. It might be tough to answer. Where do you rank yourself amongst the hosts?
Ooh.
Obviously, you're in the Premier League a host. Where do you rank yourself?
Do you know what? I'm not gonna be biased, and obviously, like, I'll say I'll put myself like somewhere in the middle, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? Because if I put myself at the top, then people are gonna say, yeah, of course you're gonna put yourself at the top. Yeah. Like, yeah, naturally I would actually rate myself at the top. But do you know what? I'm gonna be very fair and say that I put myself in the middle because that'd be the realest thing to say, to be honest.
Alright, so who'd you put? Who's top?
Wow.
Who'd you? I don't want to say respect, because respect can usually, you might not respect like the latest or the newcomer, so you respect the one who's been there the longest. So who'd you rate the most?
Are we talking house, funky, garage?
Let's say house. Right. So under the umbrella house, you can even have funky in there if you want.
I'm gonna say Gemini.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's one of my favourites as well, Gemini still.
I've learned a lot from Gemini, yeah, and obviously like before being around him and obviously building a friendship and a bond with him before that, I looked up to him quite a bit and kind of watched him and said like, yeah, like I want to be like this guy, but kind of like I like what he does because he doesn't really say a lot. And he gets such a reaction, and it's so powerful. Like his voice in it, he just comes on, and without having to do a lot, he kills it. Do you know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what, right? You don't always need to be the guy that chats the most in it. Do you know what I'm saying? You can actually less is more in it.
Yeah, his delivery is bang on. He knows when to hit the pockets, when to let the vocals. Even puts a bit of comedy in there and that as well, you know. When he talks about individuals in the crowd and all that. You know what I mean?
That's all the deformation of character as well, man. Do you know what I'm saying? And working on your craft.
Yeah.
And I've come up around a lot of MCs that are kind of smooth with it. So like an MC I used to follow a lot. He was like a mentor to me, like excellence, big excellence every time, ranking. And obviously I was around B Live a lot as well, but B Live was more of a new generation, faster sort, you know. But like I was around these guys a lot, so I kind of like sort of used to follow them and kind of just modeled myself on what they were doing. But didn't kind of copy them, but just used it to help me with my journey.
This one was meant, I quote you, and you can tell me it's facts or not, you said that you was the first funky host. I'm gonna say, like, if you tell me something, I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
you know
I think it's very fair to say that I was. I mean, you know what? You'd be better to ask Marcus this question because if I answer it, they're gonna say that I'm being biased. But
can we also clarify funky in your books? Because I had this conversation with Kismet and he was saying UK funky house. So we're talking about UK funky, right, with you?
Right. So I mean, look, if you ask me, yeah, UK funky and funky ass, and this is where the whole argument was because
this is what we're here for.
People used to say like, it's not the same thing, but then I was like, well, hold on a minute, but it is, because it was like before UK funky come and it was birthed, we was playing funky, right? But then obviously bits of UK funky used to get thrown in there, so you had producers like Swift J, right? And then obviously like Rosca and whatever, and just like Naughty, etc. And so these kind of bits just started to get thrown in with the funky house. And then it got labelled after. Then it got labelled as UK funky. Right? And then that's when the segregation happened. Do you know what I mean? So I was actually having this conversation with Marcus because we were saying like we was trying to find the borderline of where it changed. And we kind of struggled to kind of even define that ourselves.
Surely,
Because
listening to that though is like similar to the deep house scene when it started to go to deep tech and all of that. When it was say 2011, it was all like producers from not in the circles. So then when all the DJs and their brethren started making rhythms, the sound changed and then become like a London deep house sound. So maybe like that's what happened with the funky, innit? When everyone actually started making funky, the sound started to change, and that's when it became UK funky.
Do you know
Plus
what?
the lyrics thing as well.
You hit the nail on the head with it, and I would actually, I would shape it like that. And because what it was is obviously, remember in the beginning there weren't no MC tunes, right? In fact, it was frowned upon to kind to MC all over the music. So what it was
unheard of in house, man.
It was like hosting. Do you know what I mean? So there was like, so what we was doing, we was playing old school garage house, and then tunes like Papa Chungo and that were getting played, and then it slowly merged and it just grew. More and more UK sound was getting made, and then that's how it's got labelled as UK funky, because the more and more producers were making the music, it's like, right, now we've got a scene now. Do you know what I mean? We ain't just got one or two tunes. You know, we ain't got one or two funky tunes that are getting made by UK producers. We've now got a genre. We've got a scene that's called UK funky. And I suppose that is how the transition and the birth happened, because it was just like so much of the music was getting made. It was like, right, okay, we're going to call this UK funky.
Do you think that's a bad thing that it got labelled UK funky?
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's sad that it didn't like live the time, the longevity that it should have had. You know, don't get me wrong, like it did what it did for us, and we had a lot of fun with it. We got a lot of memories and a lot of history, but to me, it kind of it got spoilt very early in the day, because it was like we was pushing this sound that was so early, and like some of the other DJs were frowning upon it, not really supporting it. And we was just kind of doing everything we could to get it out there. Right. And then as soon as everyone grabbed it, it was like, right, and it took off. And it was just like everyone wanted to be a part of it. So then that's when the age of the funky MCs came. Do you know what I mean? And then it was like Versatile, I would say, was the first one to make a funky MC tune. And then obviously after Versatile, everyone became a funky MC. Like everyone just wanted to, man, no disrespect to Versa as well, because obviously he was good at what he was doing. Do you know what I mean? But it was just everyone that kind of came after that. That was just like, right, this skank, that skank. And
why didn't you do one of them?
Because I kind of felt like my name was at a certain level, right, where I was respected for what I was doing. And I just felt like if I made that tune, it would have taken away from what I did. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like whether it would, regardless of if it did well or if it didn't, like I wanted people to remember me for certain reasons. Like, and then I didn't want to make that tune and for people to remember me for that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course. But then would you, some people would, depends, because you see yourself as a host, not an MC, right?
Yeah.
So I think if you was an MC, then my answer to that would have been different. I would have said, surely you'd like to have had a hit under your belt. But because you're a host, it doesn't make sense for you to have a hit.
Well, you answered the question yourself very well as well, man.
Yeah, it makes sense. Just one last thing then. Have you got any hooks though? Like,
I've got loads of hooks, man.
What you know? Tell me what you're known for. Like, let's just
I've
say
got the
I'm
hook,
in a rave
keep it
and I've got my
moving.
glasses on, I can't see you on stage, and I hear this and I know it. Then
the hook pioneer used to sing it back to me all the time, and he used to be like warm and easy, nice and easy. So when I used to go radio with Pioneer, I used to be like warm and easy Pioneer, nice and easy Pioneer. And then even now when he sees me, he's like, yeah, all right, warm and easy, yeah. I had another hook that was money to make, so we keep it moving. Overtake them, we keep it moving. The one they hate, so we keep it moving. No time to waste, so we keep it moving. And as the years have gone on, I've just kind of like, I'd hear people just take bits and pieces and move it around and piece their own thing together. Do you know what I'm saying? That's another reason why I just didn't feel like I needed to make that tune or to put myself in that. Do you know what I'm saying?
So obviously you named Gemini as one of your, as you know, the guy at the top. Do you pay much attention to like the soulful and the Amma scene and that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. So like, do you like the new gen coming through, like Terminal, Fro,
Bro,
Dark Man Zulu?
Terminal 4 is one of my favourites. Darkman Zulu's my boy. Okay. Obviously, we go back a long way. I know Darkman Zulu from when he was dark. He used to come out the rooftops with me and Marcus from way back then, from the rooftop 923. So yeah, big up Darkman Zulu. Obviously, yeah, I'm fully rating Terminal 4. I remember seeing Terminal 4 on a live stream in lockdown for the first time. Yeah, I was invited to, they done a remembrance stream for my boy, God rest his soul, Baby Sham. And Terminal 4 come and he was like...
What was his crew called again, Baby Sham?
Two-Tom. That's it. Go on, bro. You know your stuff, innit? So, yeah. So, we went there to do this remembrance show for Sham. And obviously, Elliot Ness was playing. And I heard Terminal 4. And I was just like, bro, who's this guy? Like, and obviously tunes were getting wheeled up. And I was just like, nah, this guy is cold, yeah? And then I just started to see and hear his name everywhere. And in the whole time that I've been doing this thing, bro, like I have never seen anyone come in and just take the whole scene by storm. Like, and just move from one stage to in such a short space of time. And that is, bro, is he bring new energy. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, big up Terminal 4 every time. Obviously Cold Steps, Spidey G, got a big up Dog Tanyan every time.
What like we was just saying there with him just coming, it kind of like the impact was kind of like a new grime MC. Like the way they used to come in and someone would take over and then they have their time. And he's doing well, man. Big up Terms. He will be featuring on the podcast very soon as well.
I think he came at the right time. It was all perfect timing, like for him and for the scene as well, because I feel like it needed it, because I just feel like it was the same thing that was going round, and there's no disrespect to anyone that was doing their thing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everyone was working hard, but I just felt like, yeah, he gave it that new burst of energy that it needed. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, shout out to everyone working hard.
Yeah,
man,
trust me. We got Tipper as well. I can't forget Tips.
Yeah, oh my God, how can I forget Tipper, man? We got Tipper every time, big bro, innit? Yeah.
Right. Let's shift the conversation onto the promoting side of things, of that side of your career that you've done. Again, I'm gonna quote you. The first North London funky promoter.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Tell me about the start of that journey.
Right, so the start of the journey for me was, I was on Deja. So what happened was, I'd recently started working with Marcus. And as I said to you, we didn't know what we had in it. We didn't know it was UK funky. We didn't know where it was going. We didn't know what was going to happen. We was just having fun with it, yeah? And I was doing events already when I met Marcus. So Marcus come to one of my parties and he was like, oh my God, hey, NS, this is sick, yeah? I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, he's gone, bro, you're sitting on a gold mine, yeah? So he was like, I want to come here and play every week. So obviously he started coming and playing for me. And then the more and more parties I was doing. So in North London, so I was doing a venue called Bar Rocker, Cheeky Monkeys, on a Friday and a Saturday. And then on the Thursday, it was Twice as Nice, Sexy and Stylish. So they were doing their Thursday, I was doing the Friday and the Saturday. And then I was the only North London promoter, shall I say, that was booking DJs like Pioneer. Like, if you ask Pioneer, it will say like, yeah, like in North London, like I was the first person that he come and played for. And then obviously he introduced me to Super. Super came and played for me. Mm-hmm. Then obviously the likes of Footloose, big up Footloose, he's not around no more, but obviously anyone that knows the music will know Footloose. Yeah, so yeah, then that's how it happened, that's how it shaped.
I mean, we had a little chat about, or some messages back and forth, and you've come across some big obstacles as a promoter. And the first one I'm going to bring out is bouncer getting shot at one of your events.
Yeah, two of them. Two of them.
Same occasion.
Yeah, one of them passed away.
Jeez.
Yeah. It was. I mean, we made national news, bro. Like, not in a good way. Do you know what I mean? It was like.
So yeah. So let's build the scenario. Where was it? And
so it was. I was doing a venue in Ilford, Blue Ice, and there was a few different promoters that were using the venue. I believe Elliot Ness was doing the Sunday. I can't remember who was doing the Friday. And I think I had 2 Saturdays of the month. And what happened was the week before my birthday bash, right, they threw someone out. And the guy they threw out decided to come back on the night of my event, right, and shoot two of the bouncers.
Point blank.
Yeah, like I said, one of them survived, one of them didn't.
So then, is that on your head because it's your event?
Well, yeah, of course it was. Did
you get in trouble for it?
Yeah, I got blacklisted.
Did you get arrested though?
No, I didn't get arrested or anything like that. Police were looking for me, like they were looking for me, and obviously, so at that time, I just went completely under the radar. And
so what happened? What time? Your event's going on? What time is it?
So this is about 11 o'clock, right? 11:30.
So 11, early doors.
Right, yeah. I'm inside, right? I was in the kitchen, right? So I'm in the kitchen because in Blue Ice there was a kitchen right at the back. Sorry, I've got to be a bit more clear when I'm going into detail, right? Not funny like that, right? So I was counting money, right? That's what I was doing, right? So because what happened is the money box was already full. Right, and this is like 11:30.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is early doors.
Yeah, so the lady that was doing the door for me, she's bringing me the money box into the back, and I was counting the money, and then Marcus has come running through these doors, and he's gone, NS, quick, give me my money. He's gone. Someone's been shot. Yeah,
he asked for his money.
Yeah, I've gone what? Like, and he's gone. Yeah, I've gone. I thought he was joking. Yeah. I've walked out and it was just mad. It was just carnage. Like girls running here, they're and then the owner's come and he's gone to me, please, stay in the back. He's gone to me, yeah. So obviously me, Marcus, Shanty, like we're in the kitchen, waiting for obviously for it to die down so we could see what's gonna happen and whatever. And then obviously eventually we got escorted out the back. They let us out the back, and then we left. And I remember coming back to North London, like kind of like in a trance. You know when you feel like you don't feel like it's real. Like, but like, am I tripping? Like, did that just happen?
Yes.
And I've come back to North London, and I just remember going to my cousins and sitting. I didn't even want to go home. Yeah. I remember sitting there and just going over it in my head. And I just remember the day after, my phone was just popping like mad. Like, just like...
Why? What sort of phone calls?
Like, I'm just like, oh my God, is it true? I heard 2 bouncers died and this and that. I heard a girl got shot, and it was just by the time it had reached like Helen down the road, it had got turned into like NSE's birthday massacre. Do you know what I mean? So it was like, what it was is what I felt was like, it was an opportunity for people to throw dirt on my name as well. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, remember, you're not always going to be liked by everyone.
No, of course.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that was a big blow for me.
So what brand was that under? What party?
That was, right, so I put that underneath, that was NSE's Piscean birthday bash. Yeah. So that was before I started doing
So that was like a runaway event?
It was just my birthday bash, so...
That's a little blessing there. Obviously, excuse the person that's died, but I mean for you personally, because if it was your main brand and then that happened...
Well, yeah, that would have been a kick in the teeth, innit? But what happened after that was I couldn't get into venues, and then people didn't want to work with me.
Do you think that's held you back As a whole,
Yeah,
in your
big
whole
time.
career, like as
Big
a
time.
host, as a promoter, like the whole thing.
Big time, because obviously remember I'm already stigmatized with that because I'm from Tottenham, whatever. Obviously, like I'm from the roads, so people straight away, yeah, they label you as like if they see you with goons, you're a goon, right?
Yeah.
So it's already hard for me. Yeah, car. It's like by the time you get round to explaining to the 10th person that that's not you, you're not about that life.
Yeah.
It kind of gets a bit boring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously it was already hard for me because people already made their minds up what they thought of me because they labelled me as that guy, but I wasn't. But then what happened is that happening, kind of, oh well, he must be that guy.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? Because if I'm having bouncers are getting shot and gunmen are coming to the dance, you must be that guy, innit?
Guilty by association.
Yeah.
Innit? Yeah.
And yeah.
And unfortunately, jump into another situation. You mentioned to me about a DJ getting shot at one of your events.
Yeah, man.
This is
Obviously,
the
we're not gonna
last time we're gonna talk about someone getting shot.
we're not gonna go off on no names and
Yeah,
that.
yeah, of course.
But he was a good friend of mine. Yeah, still is a good friend of mine. He's actually he's my family. Do you know what I mean? And what happened was it was a mistaken identity.
Was this at your event?
Yeah. This was I think this was me collaborating with Tyson at the time, who used to do Funky Nation.
Okay.
And he used to do House Nation, and then he kind of like, yeah, so we emerged to do that together. That was an amazing party. It was an outstanding party. And then off of the back of that, everything started to snowball again. And then this happened. And then it was just like, oh my God, like, what, for real? Like, luckily enough, my name wasn't tied in with it and they didn't look too deep into it. Do you know what I mean? Okay. So I kind of managed to escape getting blacklisted again. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Talk to me about your experience of working in Cyprus as well.
Bro, it's amazing, man. It's like, there's no feeling like it. It's like everything that I've done and everything that I do, nothing beats it. Do you know, like, it's just like, to me, like, don't get me wrong, like, this is my home. Like, but Cyprus is my home from home. So, obviously, it's where my parents are from.
Okay.
So
both your parents?
Yeah, both my parents. Both my parents were born there. My mum came here when she was about 10 years old, so she's very westernized.
Okay.
My dad came a bit later on, so he's a bit, you know, accent and whatnot, right? So for me, to go back to Cyprus and to do the events in Cyprus, it's just, there's no better feeling.
Where are we talking when you used to do them?
North Cyprus,
okay.
Karinya. Obviously, it started in Famagusta, Moussa, shall I say, and obviously, because it's like, Iron Napa is like, so anyone that came from Garage, they had their experience in Napa. I had my experience in Napa. Yeah, like I was a resident out in Napa for years and that. And then obviously then the funk era, but then it was like when the Midsummer Ball emerged, obviously the Midsummer Ball was founded and started by my friend Hass, who's the main guy now, right? And Jason K, God rest his soul, Ramsey, from Ramsey and Fen. And obviously, so then when they started that in North Cyprus, there was nothing like it in North Cyprus. So it was the first of its kind. And it's like, to watch it grow from that to that, bro, yeah, like working in Cyprus has just been an out of this world experience, man.
Nice. Look forward to seeing what you got coming with that going forward. Right, let's move on. You did actually just mention that you're fully Cypriot, right?
Yeah.
Nice. So what area did you grow up in over here?
Tottenham.
How was that?
It was rough, man.
Was that all your whole childhood up to adolescence?
Yeah, I had a spell in Stoke Newton, Hackney, probably for maybe about 7 years. But in between, throughout that whole time, I'd always go and come from Tottenham because my nan and granddad have always lived in Tottenham. So even when my mum moved to Hackney, like I'd still always come backwards and forwards from Tottenham. As hard as it was, man, like I still I love it. I don't, do you know what I mean?
Well, a lot of talent and goodness has come out of Tottenham, though.
Bro, like, I'm not even being biased, man, but like, it's literally greatness. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when you say Tottenham, like, what do you think of when you say Tottenham? Like, what do you, like, I would say to you, like, Skepta, Red 32,
yeah,
Avellino. Do you know what I mean? Like, so many great artists.
So many.
Abracadabra, if you want to forward more current, do you know what I mean? It's like, even like producers like Fuzzy Logic, bro, if you want to go, do you know what I'm saying? If you want to talk about the mixed up music.
Yeah. But then, going back a bit, so how was it for you as a young man growing up around there? What sort of test was you going through back then? Because obviously everywhere, if we say just London, because that's what we know, everywhere in London, majority of the places, you know, it was a test as a young man. Definitely,
bro. I was tested more than a few times. Obviously, I've got the scar on my face.
Say you got a big Mars bar on your face. You tell us the story.
That was, I mean, this was so this happened in 95, and I've never really spoken it before on camera. I had a guy come to me a couple of years back, I think, and he said to me, like, look, I'm putting together this podcast about knife crime and this and that. I was wondering if you could speak on your situation and that. And I said, like, nah, so I don't really want to speak on it. And he was like, cool, safe, innit, yeah? Obviously, like, I just felt like, and then after, I felt like, right, in this, man, like, you was a bit ignorant, innit? Like, because you're thinking about how it's going to make you feel, but you're not thinking about how you speaking on it will make other people feel. Do you know what I'm saying? So now I feel like, I can speak on it. And it was just a case of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Not saying that I would like to go through it all over again, but for me, it built strength, it built character, and it's a part of who I am. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and it's
how old was you when it happened?
I was 13. I was 13, just before I was 14. And it was just before Christmas. I was coming back from my friend's house in Stokey and got off the bus in front of the Broadwater Farm entrance. Went to crossover, and obviously I was approached by a girl. Kind of, you're not really thinking about it, innit? When a girl approaches you, innit? Do you know what I mean? The girl's trying to make small talk with me. Then
13 as well, like.
She was older than me, innit? So I'm thinking, in my head, like, okay. Then I can see behind her, obviously the guy's coming, and I can see something shimmering by the side, and I'm thinking, like, what's that? What's he got there, innit? Yeah. And then obviously he's gone to me, what, you chatting to my girl? And then I've gone, nah. Said, your girl's chatting to me, right? And then so this guy was a lot older than me. This guy is like in his 20s, right? So then obviously, so now I'm on the edge of the road, right? And it's mad because when he was trying to go for me and that, it's like I've moved back in it. And as I've moved back, I've kind of fell back. And now where I fell back, that edge of the road now, there's railings there now. After this happened, they put railings there. So kind of, he's gone to cut me a few times, he's missed, and then he's managed to catch my face. He's catch my face, obviously I'm dipped, I'm on the floor, it's raining, I'm thinking, right, like obviously I've woke up, because what's happened is, where he's cut me, I've kind of passed out from the, you know, like when there's so much pain, when you're going through, when you're experiencing pain, right, you'll pass out, innit? Right, so that's what's happened. He's cut me in the face, caught me on my face, and obviously I've passed out, I've woke up, it's raining, whatever. And then these brothers have come, they've helped me up, and they've gone to me like, what's happened? And then obviously I've said, this guy, he's gone, what, it's not a family thing. I've gone, nah. So obviously they've helped me now, and then these other two brothers have come along. One of the brothers has taken me into this lady's house, and God bless her, like I literally bled all over her carpet in her hallway, right? She had to change the carpet in the hallway. And so, that happened. And then...
So this is over, is the girl coming to talk to you?
This is all over the girl trying to talk to me, bruv. In all fairness, I just think there were a couple of crackheads that had too much to smoke that night.
What colour were they?
They were white.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Do you think it might have been racist?
Nah, man. Definitely not. No. Definitely not. It's just at the time... Yeah, they were just off their nuts at this time. There was a lot of things like this going on. Do you know what I mean? It was quite common. Like, it weren't, if you heard someone got stabbed, this is why people make me laugh in this generation, because they're saying like, oh, there's a lot of, it was going on back then.
So I was going to ask you, do you think it was just the same? Because obviously
It was
there was
exactly
less
the same.
then, innit?
Of course
Because
it
there's no
was,
phones
but
and stuff.
there weren't no social media back then. Back then, if something happened, you'd hear about it on the news, but most of the stuff that was going on, they weren't mentioning it in the news, right?
They could hide it all.
Do you know what I'm saying? Or you'd see it in the local paper a month later down the line. Do you know what I mean? So now it's just, you've got social media and all these platforms where people are just seeing a lot more in it. So yeah, I mean, for me, like it changed my life, innit? Like 100%.
You was only young, so you hadn't even had much of a life yet.
Well, yeah, man, it was just kind of, it stole a lot of my childhood from me, because it took me a lot to come back from that. It took me a lot to go back to school.
Of course.
And then I remember going back to school, and my friend in school as well, got my brother, man, Big Stitch, every time, yeah? And I remember Stitcher, I was saying to him, like, obviously, like, yeah, man, like, just got this shit on my face, and just like, I just didn't even want to come back, and do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like everyone's looking at me, like, because obviously at that time, it was a lot redder, and it came down a lot further. Over the years, it's healed and closed. I've treated it with aloe vera cream and whatever. But at that time, it was just like, man, I had this big red gash on my face, right? And I remember Stitcher saying to me, like, bro, like, you got to use this to your advantage. And saying to me, like, this is a defamation of character. Do you know what I'm saying? And at that time, I couldn't understand what he was saying or where he was going with it. But now I do. Do you know what I'm saying? I talk to him about it all the time as well. And remember I said before, like, it's like every experience that you go through in your life, good or bad, it all determines what kind of person you become. The experiences define who you become. Do you know what I'm saying? And everything's about character, man. You feel like your character will get you through so many doors in life. Do you know what I mean?
But just stepping back a little bit though, how, like, you know, on the day or that period of time, you've had your face opened up. How's your mum feeling through all that? What was your mum's reaction?
My mum was devastated. Like, she was devastated, innit? And I remember, like, having to watch her break down for the longest. Like, I can't remember the point where my mum kind of switched off and went back to kind of being like everything was normal. Like, because for a long time she would break down a lot. And I would kind of be the one that would be like, look, it's all right, mum, innit? Do you know what I mean? So they used to say to my mum, me and my mum used to have this discussion about getting surgery and that on my face, taking skin off your body and whatever. And so we went to see a consultant a few times and that, and it was, so anyway, eventually we got a letter saying, yeah, like, I've been accepted for the surgery. By that time I didn't want it, because I felt like it was a part of me now. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like a mole or something, or do you know what? Like, it's like I felt like, no, well, don't really want to get the surgery now. Like, because I feel like it's a part of me now. It's growing with me, innit? And that's what happened.
How long did it take you to go back to school?
It took me only 3 months, like, but you say only 3 months.
It's a long time though.
At that age,
a percentage of a 13-year-old's life, 3 months is quite long.
Yeah, it's like at that time, it felt like forever. Do you know? And it took a lot of encouragement from my friends at the time, and that would come and see me and kind of like, obviously they'd be telling me what's going on at school. Do you know what I mean? And say to me like, like, you know, people are like, they're waiting for you to come back, man. Like, can't wait to have you back. And so obviously, you know, like, I've got this overwhelming feeling about going back to school with this scar on my face, and kind of feeling like everyone's gonna be looking at me. And I went back to school, bro, and it was like I had this welcoming, like I was a war hero or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was like crowds were like, hey, like clapping and whatever, and yeah, it definitely helped with the girls. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So just my next question was, do you feel like through the years, especially maybe as a teenager or early 20s, you had to, did you feel like you had to keep up appearances at all? Because people see someone with a Mars bar on his face and think, he's trouble, or he must be a madman, or do you ever feel like that put you in that position?
All my life. All my life.
And then how do you react to that, or how does it make you? Do you feel like you have to like?
Nah, the easiest way for me to react to that is to just be myself, innit? That's all I can be, and at the end of the day, you can take what you want with that and do what you want with it. If you wanna create this image in your head of me, or this persona that I'm a roadman, or I'm a gang member, or whatever, or thug, whatever you want to label it as, then that's completely up to you. I know who I am. Do you know what I mean? The people that are closest to me know who I am. And like I said to you before, it's already been hard enough trying to get to where we're going without people kind of judging you and what kind of background and surroundings you've come from. So this didn't really help too much. But at the end of the day, I just knew that all I could do was just be myself. Do you know? And that's exactly what I've done.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Have you got any siblings?
I have, yeah. Not from obviously the same parents. My mum married again. I've got a little brother.
Oh, okay.
From her second marriage, and then who I love very dearly. But I began my little brother Bilal, and then I got a brother and sister from my dad's second marriage. My brother Ahmet and Sarah, and I love them dearly as well. They live in Cyprus, so they live a complete different life to how I do. Do you know what I mean? But I see them every year when I go to Cyprus.
How old is Bilal?
Bilal is 32, I believe.
Okay.
31, 32. He's going to kill me if he watches this.
No, because I was going to see, like, where's he growing up and stuff, and, like, just look out for him, but he's already at that age where he's probably moving on with life.
I used to come home sometimes, right? So when I was, say, 19, yeah? 18, 19, he was still about maybe, like, 8, 9 years old. Right? Am I right? Something about that. Right? If I might be wrong, hit and miss a few years. Anyway, I used to catch him outside with like my Machino t-shirts on and that, yeah? And I give him a grilling for it, like embarrass him in front of his friends and whatnot. And then obviously, as you go on in life, I started to feel bad for certain things, for telling him off and having a go at him. And then I realised that like my little brother, like, he actually idolises me. Like, and he's my biggest fan. Like, so obviously, like, for working with people like Marcus and Mac and everyone else and this one and that one, and like he'd get gassed in it. Like, so as he grew older and that, he'd tell all his friends about me. Blah blah. My brother works with Marcus Nasty. Like, it's like, it was a good feeling because obviously, like, yeah. Like,
you're giving him something positive to talk about, you know?
Yeah,
so
man.
good.
Do you know what
That's
I mean? It beats him saying that, like, my brother's in prison, or do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Have you got any children?
I have my bro, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, man. I got
How's fatherhood? Do you love it, or tell me?
I do, yeah. I've got 6 kids, man.
Nice. That's I like that.
I got 6 kids.
How's that?
My oldest daughter is gonna be 17.
Okay.
3 different baby mums.
How do you juggle
6
that?
kids. How do I deal with it? Well,
One's enough for me. I said one's enough for me.
One's enough for you, yeah. Do you know what? I felt like one would have been enough for me as well, but unfortunately, this is the plan that God had for me.
Course, yeah, things are
like, so I mean, yeah, bro, it's been challenging, but I was always involved with the kids. Like, when they were born, and I was always involved in feeds and changing nappies, and sitting up. I'd wake up and I'd feed them, and I'd go work at 6 a.m. I'd come back, I'd bath them, and I loved doing things like that. Do you know what I mean?
Good.
But the long and short of it is, man, yeah, I do love fatherhood. I think it's one of the most, like, God-given things that we can be given, bro, is to produce life.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean? Just think about, like, every sort of legacy that you're trying to leave. What's the proudest legacy you could leave? Mm-hmm. It's going to be your kids, innit? Of course. Carrying your name. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, man, that's how I feel about that.
You mentioned that your mum and dad have both remarried. What age did they break up?
My mum and
your
dad
age.
broke up when I was really young, man. I was like 3 years old.
Okay.
So
Do you remember them being together?
you know what? It's mad because I actually do.
Okay.
But it's like, you know, like glimmers, like glimmers of memories, going to like going on safari trips and that. Like this, so there was a, I think before London Zoo, there was a zoo outside of London, and I remember going with my mum and dad, and I remember throwing my dummy out the window and them having to stop the car and get the dummy.
It's mad that you can remember that and you won't be able to remember something from last week.
It's crazy, innit, bro? How is that? How does that even work?
You just identify a year.
So yeah, man, lots of like fun memories of my mum and dad.
So then, do you think we can say, in a way, luckily, at 3 years old, you probably didn't feel the breakup, or you're not aware of it? Because if you was a bit older, you might have felt it more.
I wouldn't say that because I still feel like at a certain age, ages, like a young age, like 8, 9, 10, I was still like kind of yearning for my mum and dad to be together and to grow up in that household. And it was difficult to get through that. Do you know what I mean? I think only now as a full grown adult I actually understand.
Of course, yeah.
You know, because I think as we all kind of would all want to grow up in the household with our mum and dads together, innit? Do you know what I mean? And I kind of really didn't get that chance, so I feel like.
Do you feel like that affected you then as a father, and then trying to retain relationships with each baby mum?
100%, definitely.
You're married now?
Yeah, I'm married now. Not with any of my baby mums, which is absolutely insane. Unfortunately, this is why I say to young people, like, take your time, don't rush. You know, like, because I feel like me, like at an age where I should have been living, I kind of like I wasn't, and I was kind of rushing into things to please other people around me. Do you know, maybe if I do this, I'll get acceptance. And do you know, really, I should have had the attitude that I have now, which is like, well, I don't really give a fuck in it, to be honest. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, can we swear shit, man?
No, well, you've done it twice. Do you feel like relationships, and I don't want to offend any baby mums, because I have had baby mums in my DMs angry at certain people that have been on my podcast.
Yeah, you'll probably get mine, definitely. You'll definitely. You'll 100% get them in there, bro. I'm telling you. They'll be the first to reach out. Bro, they're my number one fans, bro.
Yeah. I was going to say, do you feel like being in relationships, whatever ones, you don't have to say which ones, do you think they help out your career?
100%. 100%. Definitely. Of course it did. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Like, listen, bro. Like, I'm forever proud of myself and where I am and where I'm going, because my journey ain't finished. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't ever believe the journey's ever finished.
Nah, not if you're a real music man. It's never gonna be finished. It's in you.
But I do feel like I lost out on certain opportunities because of them. You know. But at the same time, it's not fair for me to blame them completely, because at the end of the day, I allowed that. Do you know what I mean? So first of all, I have to blame myself for allowing it. Like, you know? And then secondly, blame them. You know? But it'd be unfair for me to offload it all onto them, because at the end of the day, I made decisions, I made choices, and I allowed certain circumstances and things to happen. So yeah, that being said.
To be fair, being in the music game and holding down a relationship is very hard. It's very hard.
Bro, it's very challenging.
You're out every weekend.
Very challenging.
It's that environment, people are drunk.
Yeah.
There's certain DJs that move wild, so then there's groupies and all that, and then you get associated with that. And it's not easy. It's not easy for both participants.
Definitely not. But I believe it is doable. Like, I believe it is.
Yeah, it is doable, but there's always
gonna be the obstacles and challenges, and obviously, yeah, like you said, like you got the groupies and all of that sort of stuff that comes with it. That doesn't really make it easy. Do you know what I mean? But I believe that when you're with the right person, like, you understand each other and they understand you, and I believe that's what I've got now.
Nice.
Like, my wife, she fully supports me what I do, and she is, to me, she's my number one fan. She's my biggest fan. Do you know what I mean?
You got a few of them, because you said your wife, you said your brother, you said your baby mum.
Yeah. The fan club's big, man. Do you know what I mean? Now, so I've got to big up my wife, man. She always supports me, man. She don't always like my stuff on the gram, but do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, she did that make her a groupie, and I definitely don't want her to be a groupie. Yeah. But she is fully in my corner.
Nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, so it's good when you got the backing at home, because you have peace of mind. When you're going out and you're DJing or hosting or whatever it is you do in this music game, and you know you got stress and you got someone texting your phone, you probably can't even perform the same.
Yeah, understand? Bro, your head's got to be in the right place. And one thing that I've got with my wife now that I've never had is that I don't get all that. Like, once I leave the house, like, that's it. Like, she won't be calling my phone 100 times, or, you know, like, unless there was an emergency or something, like, she won't ring me or anything. Because she knows, like, I'm going out to work, I'm going out to perform, and she leaves me to be able to do that 100%. You know, so she's like, she's always in my corner, bro. So yeah, you know.
Do you think we can agree on that though? I hope your wife's not really young. That can be an age thing as well, because, you know, it might not be. 100%. It might just not be your exes, like, oh, they were crazy. It might just be age and experience and being a bit more mature.
It's definitely age. I think it's definitely growth, and I believe it's at the end of the day, right? It's all about background and upbringing. At the end of the day, my wife, yeah, she is, to me, she's like, if I could say to you, like, the perfect person that I want in my life, yeah, she is that, because she supports me in what I do. She's got my corner. Like, I discuss my ideas with her. She tells me, yeah, that's good, that'll work. No, that don't work. And and I don't have no issues with her like that. Do you know what I mean? We're solid, and I believe that everyone needs that.
Yeah, I'm glad you're there, man. That's nice. That's good. We're gonna dig a bit deeper now, man, and like talk about a few deeper things close to your heart as well. Like, so a couple years back during COVID, you lost one of your friends.
Yeah, I lost my best friend Terry.
Best friend, okay.
Yeah, man. I lost my best friend Terry, and it was all very sudden because obviously he had underlying health issues.
Which were what?
Diabetes.
Okay.
He struggled with his diabetes for a while. Like, he'd do things like, he just, like, wouldn't really, he'd eat things that he weren't meant to be eating and whatever. But anyway, he was always good. He was always all right. Do you know what I mean? Like, then obviously he got COVID, and I think for me, like, it was like, yeah, I lost my best friend, but it was just so random. Like, you know, like, sometimes in life, you know, if you know something's gonna happen, you can prepare for it mentally, and there was just no preparation for this.
Well, what happened? How long got it, and then what?
So he got COVID. And he went into hospital, and he was in hospital for over a week. And then they put the respirator on him, and that was it. And then it was like, and then 1 minute they said, he's gonna be all right, and the next thing, he's gone. And I was like, what?
How old was he?
Like, he was, I would say he's about 40, 47. All right, so
then when you see all the stuff online with people slating COVID and saying it's propaganda and all that, how was that making you feel at the time? Because you've seen that as real.
Because I experienced it firsthand, like, I've had a few disagreements at a few different times with people obviously saying, well, if it was a propaganda, like, then there's you know what, it's so deep. This is like, it's like the rabbit hole, innit? So just the shortest way that I can get to it is that whether it was man-made, like, whether it was the government, whatever, all I know is that my friend got a virus, like, he got taken to hospital, they put a respirator on him, and 1 minute they said he was going to be all right, and the next thing he was gone. So to me, that's as real as it gets. Like, did you know that?
Did he have a funeral?
Yeah, he had the funeral.
What was that like?
Yeah, bro, it was
During COVID.
obviously it was a limited amount of people. Meters apart from each other, 2 meters apart, all of that. And I remember going to see him for the last time, and the barber trimmed him up and whatever, and just going to see him.
You was allowed near him even though he had COVID? Because I just remember how it was back then. It was crazy. You couldn't.
Yeah, we was allowed.
anywhere near anyone.
Yeah, because his wife messaged me and said like, look, do you want to go and see him? She said like, obviously I'm not too sure how you'd feel about that, and I said yeah, of course I do. And I went to see him for the last time, and he was just like he was sleeping. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I've seen
Like,
that. Yeah.
and yeah, I'm still kind of taken back from it, even still to this day. Kind of, to me, it just don't feel real. Do you know what I mean? Because he was such a big part of my life. Do you know what I mean? He was just like, he was there for me, like through my dark times, good times. You know, like there's that one friend that's there for you through everything, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, and he would, and because he was a few years older than me. I'm 42, right? So I think Terry was about 45. Sorry, man, I aged him. And he kind of like, so he'd give me advice on things and that, and just he was there for me throughout a lot of my journey, man. So yeah, that was a big blow for me, man.
Yeah. Bless him, man. Bless you too. Jason K was also part of your life at some point.
He was throughout. I would say, like. So I met Jason when he first started doing the summer ball, and then obviously over the years we just got closer and closer, and then he started bringing me out on the roads with him, and then we just got really tight, man, and we had this like little brother big brother relationship. Do you know what I mean? And I never really had a big brother like that. So Jason was he was like that big brother, like, do you know what I mean? He'd advise me on things. And just he played a big part in my journey as well. And obviously even Jason, man, like losing him, it was just so sudden. Like, you know, imagine like he just announced, like, obviously I knew that he had underlying health issues as well. Jason had diabetes, he had some other underlying health issues and that. So we knew that he wasn't really too well. But to get that news was very sudden.
Yeah, of course.
You know, but Jason was amazing, man. He was just a 1 in a million kind of soul. Like, if he could see that you was like, if you had that drive in you, and he could see that you was trying to help yourself, like, he would help you 10,000 times more. Do you know what I mean? That was the kind of guy he was. And he done a lot for a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? He definitely done a lot for me, man. You know, so that was very, it's still heartbreaking now. Do you know what I mean?
But at the same time, he's got an amazing legacy.
Yeah, the most
So you can
definitely.
focus on
And
the legacy, you know?
that's exactly what I do, man. And Jason gave me so many memories. Do you know what I mean? Like, we had so many great times together. So yeah, man, God rest his soul.
Yeah, and like even with the power of the internet now, you can even, you know, go back and watch sets of these or listen to sets of
Well,
these.
yeah.
So he's still alive, you know?
But I got videos and that in it from like some of our trips and that. So like I watch a lot of the videos.
Nice.
And that, and obviously, and just kind of like recap on the memories, man.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Just one other name to mention as well. You mentioned Mikey Action.
Michael, yeah, Mikey, man. He was the first guy to take me radio, man.
What station?
Sub Jam.
Okay.
Yeah, where Majestic came from, and so what happened was a lot of the people around me, they were going radio, right? And obviously, like, I was saying to them, like, well, why can't you bring me? Like, I want to come radio. Like, and they were like, oh, but no, it's not us, man. It's Mikey, innit, yeah? So obviously, Mikey was from Wood Green. So when I eventually ended up, like, sort of catching up with him, because we weren't really tight at that time. We became tighter after. And so I said to him, bro, like, I want to go radio, man. And he was like, yeah. He's going like, I'll bring you, man. Don't worry, innit, yeah? And I remember him taking me Sub Jam for the first time. and that was the first time I went pirate radio. Now, obviously, Heat FM and all of that come after. Heat FM was probably one of my biggest platforms because, obviously, first time playing in events and whatever, and doing radio, like, just consistently. Like, well, man was on there every day. Do you know what I mean? But, yeah, Mikey Action, he took me sub-jam for the first time. And then it just kind of all went from there. Now, what happened is Mikey took me to radio, and then we started having these ideas and that shortly after. But like, because he was an MC, then he started saying to me like, "Do you know what? I'm gonna start mixing, bro." So a couple of man were being funny around, man. Like, so like what it was is at this time was like, so if it was like a DJ for an MC, so everyone was pairing themselves up, and I'm left out on my own, but it's like no one wanted to work with, man. Yeah, like, so I'm like, bro, like, who am I gonna take radio with me? So Mikey was like, I'll DJ for you, innit? Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, he's like, I'm gonna go and get some tunes and that. So he went and got some tunes. We started practicing sets together, and then obviously, but we didn't have enough records to do a whole radio show. So he was like, look, he's got Nick's Gyro, innit? Yeah, I'm gonna go and get some more tunes. Yeah. And then by that, he's like, by then, we should have enough to do a set on the radio. Obviously, we didn't get that far because he obviously got stabbed and he passed away. And
that's another loss you had to deal with.
Yeah, that was another loss that I had to deal with. Another loss was losing one of my first DJs that was Chubby, but Chubby, that all came after. Do you know what I mean? God rest his soul as well. But we lost a lot of soldiers along the way, man. Do you know what I mean? So DJ Chubby is probably one of the first DJs to play tunes from The Explicit. Do you know what I mean? Like producers like that. Like, so, yeah, man. Like, God rest their soul in it. Mikey Action and Chubby as well. Do you know what I mean? They all played a big part of my journey and kind of defined, like, me. As a character, because losing them and having to deal with that trauma at such a young age, like it's kind of made me who I am now, innit?
Of course it has, 100% has. Does it ever make you think back to what happened with your face and thinking, wow, I'm lucky to be here?
Yeah, 100%.
Because you've seen so many people go in similar scenarios.
100%. That's obviously one of the first things that comes to mind is that, you know. So yeah, that being said,
let's talk about your relationship with Marcus Nasty.
Yeah,
you've been working together for a long time, right?
Long time.
What's it like to work with someone like that, like Marcus? What's it like? I will get Marcus on there one day as well.
Marcus, to me, he changed my life. He's
better?
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, Marcus, let's just make that clear from now, yeah. He changed my life for the better, man. Nice. He has definitely been a major key player in what I do. Like he actually molded me into the because I went from being just an MC, I was just a garage MC. Right, and then he kind of he said to me, right, we need to start doing this, like, and schooled me on things that changed everything that I do. Do you know what I mean? That defines what I do now. And he said to me, like, he's saying to me, your voice is different, your voice is powerful. He said to me, emphasize on that, emphasize on people hearing it. Like, emphasize on the hooks because it's what people are going to remember. He's gone, when you go into detail with lyrics, and he's got not a lot of people remember the stuff in the middle. Yeah,
the technical bits, yeah.
But they'll always remember, do you know what I mean? The punchlines and the hooks and that, so, and the PowerPoints and working with the crowd and all of that. That was all him. Do you know what I mean? Very unpredictable. You don't know what kind of Marcus you're going to get on what kind of day. But one thing that I will say is that Marcus, if you've got him on your side, like, he'll do anything for you. Like, he has got to be, for me, he's that guy that's like, he's the pillar of the community. Do you know what I mean? Like, he brings everyone together and he wants to help everyone. Like he wants to kind of like he wants to see the sound grow. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, Marcus is definitely a big key player in what I've done, what I've been doing. Yeah, and he always will be.
Or
man.
even in UK music, let's be honest.
Yeah, full stop. Really, I mean, like
To me, he's like one of the first, let's say, unofficial A&Rs in the UK music.
well, yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
He's
You
an
think about the
ambassador.
people he's brought through.
Loads. I mean, how many people that play UK funky can you say, right? That you'd see them on Cribs, on Tim Westwood's Cribs, yeah. Like I weren't about when he did that, yeah. I can't remember where I was, what I was doing, but I was unable to do it because obviously I got the call for it and I weren't around, right? But when I see it, and I was just like, nah, this is like at the time I was like, nah, we're gone. Like this did that with like this is it. Like because from there everyone see it, and that was to me, that was an iconic moment. Like of like right, we've crossed that line now. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's where the point where everyone started to take it serious, and say like right, we've got to take this serious now. It's not a joke, innit? Do you know what I mean?
So you had this show on Deja as well.
Yeah, we used to do Thursday nights 8 till 10 on Deja, on the rooftop. And I remember going up there for the first time, and obviously like it was on top of Club Space. And I remember going up there and looking over the skyline and that, and it was just, bruv, it was insane. The settings were mad. So what we used to do, me and Marcus, we used to keep the door open and that. So you'd be there rinsing and that, and you can see the city lights and everything. And yeah, it was crazy, man. So that Deja show was kind of, it was, for me, it was a pivoting point. It's where it changed everything for me. Because from there, obviously, from going on to Deja to work with Marcus, it was from there I got introduced to promoters at Sun City, Double O, and other people. And he just kind of, he started taking me everywhere with him. And then that was it, man. It was just snowballing from then.
Yeah. Was that the same time when Kismet and all them lot were on there as well?
Yeah, it was, yeah.
We touched upon them, and he was telling me that how they got the name Circle.
Yeah.
He was saying that like Super had a show, Kismet and Fever had Kismet, and I think actually they had separate shows. I think Fever had a show, Kismet had a show, and they used to just share tunes. They started sharing tunes with each other. And then other DJs were like, oh, why are you not bringing us in on these tunes? You're just keeping it within your circle. And then that's how they got their name Circle.
Do you know what?
Marcus one of those guys saying you're not bringing us in with the tunes?
As far as I know, he wasn't.
Okay.
Like, because obviously, as I think I don't know, maybe I thought it in my head, or maybe we touched on this subject before, but it was like, what Marcus was playing, they weren't playing that. Like Kismet wasn't interested in playing that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it was like I think the first one out of the group to play it was Super D. Like really out of their circle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Wow, we was kind of just doing our own thing, really. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, as you can probably work out yourself, it's like, it was like me coming to work with Marcus. It's like, all right, cool. Like Marcus is like, he's already got this thing where people are not really taking to him, yeah. And then it's like, I'm his host, innit? So straight away people are just like putting me in that as well.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
So it was kind of like, it was for a long time, like you're knocking on doors and the doors ain't opening, innit? Yeah. But then eventually the force was so strong that they couldn't stop it. Do you know what I mean? Like, and then obviously the Iron Apple happened, and it was curtains.
So you know, like you say, like, oh, you know, Marcus, some people didn't take to him, and then you came along, and people might have prejudged you and that. Did you enjoy that though?
Do you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah,
like me and Marcus, like, and you was like, you know what I mean? Like, did you like that?
I did in a kind of, in a childish way. I did, yeah, back then. Obviously, like I was still quite young then, so I hadn't really like matured yet in that sort of. So I'm like, yeah, like, well, do you know what? Like, yeah, we're doing us, innit?
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Of
sort
course,
of thing.
of course.
So in the end, that's exactly what we did. Do you know?
Yeah. Right, we're gonna go further back now. You mentioned Chubby, your
Yeah.
late friend. Let's go back to you started in grime, right?
Yeah,
So-
that's right. So
What was you MCing?
yeah, so I was MCing. I was in a crew, right? I was in a crew. It was called Madflex Crew. There was like maybe 4 or 5 MCs, and there was like the DJ was P Jam, right? So P Jam, he went on to produce for Big Nasty.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you know who P Jam is.
Of course I do. I've got various tunes on vinyl, but I still got them in the garage, mate.
So P Jam was our first DJ. So what P Jam was doing, right? So what we was doing, sorry, shall I say it, is let me get it right. We was getting heat. So my cousins were getting heat as MCs, but they were just going and they were just jumping on with any DJ, right? And the DJ was like, he wasn't really that good. So anyhow, I said to them, but listen, man. I said, we need a DJ, but we need a good DJ, innit, yeah? But we knew P Jam differently. You know, like differently. Like before he was a DJ.
Is he from Tottenham as well?
Nah, he was from Edmonton.
Okay, yeah.
Right, so this is another story now. So my cousins, like who I had the crew with, they were from Edmonton and I was from Tottenham. So I started going Edmonton, obviously linking them, and obviously everyone's MCing at this time. So then obviously got introduced to P Jam, clicked with P Jam, started chilling with P Jam, but this was before P Jam was a DJ. Then obviously he started DJing and whatever, but P Jam was just like, he was that guy that he was so talented, like he was just like, it's still to now say he's one of the sickest DJs I ever worked with. He just made it look so easy. So I was like, I'm saying to them, like, hey listen, we need to get P Jam, you know. So we all rocked up to P Jams, innit? Because back then it weren't like you call someone. Like, you'd go to their yard, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? His mum or his nan would come to the door, innit? Yeah. So P Jam would come down, and the reason why we called him P Jam was because he used to wear these tracksuits and that looked like pajamas, right? So we ended up nicknaming him P Jam, right? So we've gone to him, bro, listen, man, you got to come and DJ for us on radio, yeah? Like, going Heat FM, So P Jam was like, yeah, cool. So started bringing P Jam radio. Then obviously after a short amount of time, it kind of, the MCs narrowed down. It become just 3 MCs and 1 DJ. And then we got picked up by, funny enough, Marcus's baby mum signed us to her agency. She had a booking agency and that. And obviously that's when we was doing Heat FM. So we was doing Heat FM. We had the show before or after Meridian Crew, obviously, which boy better know now, Bloodline, whatever, right? But back then it was Jamie. Skepta was, I think he was in a different crew. So he was in a crew called, I think it was Terror Squad or Terror Crew with a couple of other MCs. Anyway, short and long of it is, we was creating such a mad buzz on Heat FM. It was like we was like one of the biggest crews on there. So it was like Venom Crew, Madflex Crew. Then it was like Meridian, like 00 Squad, and all these other crews. Yeah. And then obviously, so then once Marcus's baby mum picked us up, signed us, started taking us on tour, but we was just moving like unruly rock stars, like going to was doing out of London bookings. Man, them that was coming with us was doing crazy things like smashing up the hotel rooms, throwing TVs out the window. I didn't even know they had TVs in hotel rooms at this time. We're going to the reception, and they're saying, TV was thrown out. We've got a TV on the bill and this and that, and it was just crazy, wild stuff was going on. So I think what was happening is we had at that time so much happened because we got such a buzz, right, in a short space of time. We kind of got so excited and ran off with it and ended up stumbling. And after we was causing so much trouble everywhere we was going, she was like, right, I've had enough. And then what happened was we lost P Jam because obviously he went to Dice. Because we was at this point we're very sort of like unpredictable in what we're doing. So P Jam was like, right, I'm gonna go and work with Dice. He got signed to Dice. He went and worked with Dice. We got dropped. And then obviously, and then the crew kind of fell apart from then. Before that happened, Chubby kind of tried to keep us together because he found us on the block one day. He was like, what are you man doing? He was like, well, we ain't got a DJ no more. P Jam, he's signed to Dice now, can't do. He was like, what? Take me to my yard, man, get my records. I go read, because we was meant to be on radio. So we've gone, picked up his records. We've gone. There's obviously P-Jam. Chubby started to DJ for us. Boom. Within a couple of weeks later, bro, like boom, man's announced that Chubby's dead. Like he's passed away. Like he's asthma. Obviously, he suffered from asthma severely, and it caught up with him, and it wrapped him up and took him in it. So once we lost Chubby, that was it. It just it was the breakdown of the crew, and then everyone just went their own way.
Did they carry on any of the other members?
My cousins carried on. They carried on working with like doing other projects. I weren't involved in that, and then that's when I glided over to garage, more house and garage, the more softer side, as people would say. I kind of took a break out. I went to Cyprus for a year. On my return from Cyprus, I was staying with my friend TJ. We got TJ every time, and so I was chatting to him, saying to him, I want to get back into music. And he said to me, he goes, I got college with a DJ called Pioneer. I said, yeah. I said, okay. I said, boy, I talk to him, man, see if you can get him on radio, innit, or something. Like, do you know what I mean? So he was like, yeah, I'll chat to him. Pioneer was on Y2K. Pioneer, like Y2K was ram jam with the schedule at the time. Pioneer goes to me, look, my friend started this new station called Touch FM. It's doing all right. I said, cool, boom, done a demo. One day I was listening to the station, heard my demo on there, got gassed, and then obviously we got called up to the meeting, started doing Touch, started working with Pioneer a lot more, and DJ Naughty as well. We got Naughty. And then obviously from then, it was kind of, and then obviously the Marcus Nasty and Deja came after. Nice, man.
Yeah, man. That's the journey right there. All right, I'm gonna wrap it up with this. I want you to just name me your accolades that you're most proud of in this journey.
I would say the events that I've done in, obviously, the motherland, in Cyprus. I bring Deneo out there. I bring Boy Better Know out there for an event. I would say for me, that was one of my biggest moments. And just some of the acts that I've introduced over the years. Tiny Temper, Big Nasty, like Skepta, Reg 32, all of these people, that it's just been like, it's been a proud moment to work with them and introduce them and just be amongst that energy. I would say, are we saying in music, yeah?
You can be, that's you as a person.
Yeah, I would say Fatherhood has got to be one of my proudest moments, because obviously I think that's life-changing. I think we all know that when you become a father, you just feel like it's a different kind of... you're not living for yourself anymore. And you kind of... you want to be the best version of yourself that you can be, because you want to try and make your kids proud. So your achievements and everything, it all changes. Your way of thinking, everything, it all changes, because you're like, right, like... And for me, proudest moment is my kids, my son, my oldest son, Ellen, saying to me like, oh, Dad, you're famous, you know? I laughed and I said, I'm not famous, son, don't be silly. No, you are. I typed your name into Google. So I'm like, wow, like, yeah, for me, that's got to be definitely one of them. Yeah, man, yeah.
All right, well, I appreciate you coming on, and I really appreciate you opening up as well. It's not easy.
Bro, yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. I'm sorry if I went round the houses with some of the questions, do you know what I mean?
Nah, you was direct, man. You answered everything, which I appreciate, and you was direct as well. And you know, it's not easy to talk about personal things as well, which you dug into some personal things that you wouldn't even know was coming, that I just, stuck on you in front of the camera. So yeah, 100%. I appreciate it, man. And look forward to seeing the rest of your journey.
Thank you, bro, man.
Next year or so. And yeah, man, I'll see you out on the circuit. Any last words for the viewers?
Boy, keep tuned in it, do you know what I'm saying? Because it's not over till it's over.
Exactly.
Big up S-StarTV every time.
Come on. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, follow the both of us as well, and we'll be back with more episodes before the end of the year.